The summer will take place and the earlier born karmas may be removed from the soul. That means the process of nirjara will be there, which may lead the soul to salvation. We will discuss different activities of Jain Yoga like Ratnatraya, 14 Gunisthan, conditions required for the compliance of Jain Yoga, Samayik, Kayusar, meditation, Tap, etc. We will also try to know about Bahiratma, Antaratma, and Paramatma. The procurement of moksha by Jain Yoga takes place in three stages. The first stage of Jain Yoga begins with the crude inner soul of Antaratma. By the various religious practices of Jain Yoga, the Gunisthan of the ascetic continuously goes on increasing, and in the last phase, the seeker becomes Siddha Paramatma in the 14th Gunisthan. As soon as the Ghatiya karmas of Jain seed are destroyed, he is known as Arihant, and the knowledge of the whole world starts reflecting in his soul. The actions of our mind, speech, and body are synthesized with the soul in karma form. Karmas have been associated with the soul since time immemorial. Until all the eight karmas are destroyed, salvation is not possible. The practice of Jain Yoga remained in the original form till Uma Swami, that means 2nd and 3rd century of Vikram. But after the fame of Yoga Sutras, this method changed, and by the 8th century, the influence of Ashtanga Yoga, Hatha Yoga, and Tantra Shastra was clearly visible. In the 11th century, five concepts of Parthivi, Varuni, Vaivi, Tejasi, and Tattva Rupavati were also recognized. Due to the effect of all these, the basic form of practice of Jain Yoga has become a disjointed form, and it is now confined to worship, jap method, and recitation. Even if there was a talk about yoga, the emphasis was laid on yoga postures, and people forgot Jain Yoga in the charm of Kundali Jagran and seven chakras. All these activities are body related, so all these actions are podgalic. Hence, these are par. But the soul can never be purified by such meditation. That is why they have no utility in the attainment of self form. That means आत्म स्वरूप अगर हमें प्राप्त करना है तो पर को हमको छोड़ना पड़ेगा आत्म स्वरूप के लिए. They are all disdainful and must be discarded. Since karma is the major factor affecting yoga, therefore the meaning of yoga is also changeable according to the type of karmas. So there are three types of this yoga: pravitti roop, intention type; then ashrav roop, influx type; and third is resultant type. Now let us discuss the preconditions for Jain yoga. In Jainism, there is compulsory emphasis on purity of mind, speech, and body of self. The 12 austerities, tapas, 6 external and 6 internal, are practices to cleanse mind and body. Discipline in taking meals, taking less than hunger, fasting, abstaining from taking certain heavy food such as butter and oil, green vegetables, and many more items, not caring for comforts while sitting, sleeping, etc. are external tapas. Repentance for one's wrong deeds, humility to renounce worldly material things, study and meditation are internal tapas. Kaya Klesh, prescribed in Jainism, implies practices of sitting, standing, sleeping, etc. To condition the body to tolerate hardships or discomforts, and for the sake of having proper self-control, Sanyam, in daily routine. Then, as we know, there are three Samyak Darshan, Samyak Gyan, and Samyak Charit. These are known as Ratnatraya, three jewels known as Ratnatraya. And uh, without these, following these Ratnatraya, one cannot even imagine liberation. Then let us talk about Gunistan. We all know that there are 14 Gunistan from number 1 to 14. The details one can have from our Jain scriptures. I will not go in detail, but as an individual achieves spiritual progress, his mental state becomes successively immaculate. Consequently, his Gunistan goes on increasing. Then based on these stages, why I am talking about Gunistan, because the Bahiratma, Antaratma and Paramatma, they are classified with respect to this Gunistan. So those in the Gunistan 1 to 3, they are known as Bahiratma, external source. Those in the 4th to 12 Gunistan, they are known as internal source, Antaratma. And the practitioners in 13th and 14th Gunistan, they are omniscient, they are Paramatma. Now let us discuss about what is the meaning of Bahiratma, what are their qualities. External soul persons are defined as those who don't have faith in soul, God, heaven, hell, merit, demerit. These persons are greedy of all the worldly pleasures. There are many inherent weaknesses present in them, like lust, anger, pride, greed, attachment, and aversion, fear, etc. These weaknesses are the serious cause for the binding of karmas. There are 3 corrective measures to minimize these. These corrective things are self-control, daman, legal check, shaman, and direction change, disha parivartan. Then Antaratma, internal soul persons. The property, the qualities with these Antaratma persons, an external soul, Bahiratma transfers into internal soul when he develops faith in existence of soul, merits and demerits, and other tenets of Jain philosophy. The inner soul persons are divided into 3 categories as per their behavior. First is crude inner soul, known as Jagan Antaratma. This is the first stage of yoga practice. Then second is medium inner soul, Madhyam Antaratma, second stage of yoga practice. Then ultimate inner soul, Uttam Antaratma, third stage of yoga practice. So first stage is crude inner soul, which is known as Jagan Antaratma. These are the persons who believe in the existence of soul, omniscient, merits, demerits, heaven, hell, etc. But give preference to worldly comforts and may even be away from religion at the cost of worldly attractions. Such people are very enthusiastic about the various religious observances like fasting, etc. But they are not very firm about it. Penas and vows are very essential for the purification of soul. Some of the vows to be followed by the people of this category include 7 restraints, which are not eating meat, not drinking liquor, not taking honey, not eating 5 Udambar fruits, causing intense violence, leave gambling and prostitution. He should be submissive, do charity, do self-study, swadhyay, should have self-control, sanyam, and should practice tap every day. Such a person is known to have achieved the 4th spiritual stage. ये चौथे गुणस्थान में इस प्रकार के क्रूड जघन अंतरात्मा वाले व्यक्ति रहेंगे। और हमें मालूम है कि साधारण रूप से हमारा जन्म पहले गुणस्थान में होता है और जो हमारे तीर्थंकर हुए हैं उन सब का जन्म से ही वो चौथे गुणस्थान में ही पैदा होते हैं, 4th गुणस्थान में। Then number 2, medium internal soul, Madhyam Antaratma. When an individual is face to face with reality, he starts thinking about the self, that means about the soul. He starts thinking away from all the worldly comforts and climb even spiritual steps known as stages of renunciation. ये 11 प्रतिमाएं बतलाई गई हैं, जिसमें जैसे पहली प्रतिमा है वो नित्य प्रति जिन भगवान के दर्शन की है और इस प्रकार से और आगे बढ़ते बढ़ते 11वीं प्रतिमा तक आते आते जो प्रतिमाधारी हैं वो ग्रह त्याग का उसमें प्रोविजन है, वो घर पे नहीं रहते, 11वीं प्रतिमा के बाद ग्रह त्याग के प्रतिमा है. So this then becomes the transition period of his life. The medium internal soul people are supposed to be in the fifth spiritual stage. Those who are in the fourth and fifth stage mandatorily observe 5 vows of non-violence, truthfulness, non-stealing, non-consumerism, and celibacy. 3 Gunvrat, which are Jigvrat, Anarth Dandvrat, Bhog, Paribhog, Pariman Vrat. 4 Shikshavrat, which are Deshvrat, Samayik, Prasodvas, Atithi, Samvivag. These sages go on practicing other religious procedures for higher spiritual development, also like Kayusar and Samayik. So let us try to know what is the meaning of Kayusar. Kayusarg literally means rising above the body level, coupled with a higher degree of conscious awareness. Kayosarg is the mandatory part of meditation. In practice, it is the conscious suspension of all gross movements of the body, resulting in relaxation of skeletal muscles and drastic reduction of metabolic activities. This physical condition results in relieving mental tension. Kayosarg is required for the concentration of mind and body. In the living condition, renunciation of body is known as Kayosarg. As we know, there is maximum attachment towards one's own body, hence it is quite difficult to practice this. The procedure is completed in 4 steps. The Kayosarg की procedure जो है ये 4 चरणों में पूरी होती है. Number 1, Gupti. Gupti is the process of protection the mind, speech and body from all types of karmas. Number 2, Sanyam, self-restraint. It is self-control on the various activities of mind, speech and body. At the time of fasting or in the prosecution of big vows, self-restraint is very essential. Body is known as samvar. Number 4, Tyag, renunciation. A common human being is very conscious of his body. An ascetic is not supposed to have any such attachment. He has to have tolerance power to bear extreme hot and cold weather and other extreme conditions, and to remain hungry or thirsty during fasting periods. This renunciation of body charm is known as body charm renunciation, जिसको हिंदी में काय ममत्व त्याग का नाम दिया गया है. Then Samayik. Samayik is one of the most important spiritual practices of Jainism, during which one tries to come closer to his soul. During Samayik, we sit down at one place in meditating state for 48 minutes. अंतर्मुहूर्त, एक अंतर्मुहूर्त तक ये समय की जाती है, जिसको 48 मिनट्स के बराबर है. Isolating ourselves from our daily household and business works. It is the process by which the practitioner starts feeling the presence of his soul. For this, he has to concentrate deeply and has to think only about his soul, forgetting about everything else. The word Samayik has been derived from the Sanskrit word Samay. The meaning of Samay is Atma, soul. There are 8 requirements for correct performance of Samayik. Number 1, appropriate time. In the morning, about 2 hours before sunrise is supposed to be best time. In the afternoon, between 12 to 12:30 p.m. In the evening, before sunset, or in the night before sleeping. Number 2, appropriate place. The place should be isolated, having entry of fresh air. As far as possible, Samayik should be performed at the same place every day. Number 3, appropriate sitting material. Some soft material like chatai, etc. should be used. Number 4, appropriate posture. Padmasan, Paryakasan, Vajrasan, Siddhasan, Khadgasan, etc. may be selected, whereas Sukhasan is supposed to be the very comfortable posture. Number 5, Avarth. When both palms are brought together and the combination is rotated circularly in the right hand direction and the Naukar mantra is continuously recited, it is known as Avarth. The Avarth has to be performed thrice, both in the beginning and at the end of Samayik. Number 6, Shironati. In standing position, bring both palms together and keep forehead on this combination and go head before Janandev directly or indirectly is known as Shironati. In each direction, after 3 hours, one Shironati has to be performed. If required, I will practically show what is the meaning of Avarth and Shironati after this lecture. Number 7, as born form, the practitioner's face should appear just that of a newly born child who has a smiling face without any tension. Number 8, reverence. The practitioner should have a feeling of respect for all the living beings of the world. He should not have any pride, passion, or boasting in his mind. He should apologize all living beings and should pardon every being before starting Samayik. In Samayik, Panch Namaskar mantra, Namokar mantra should be recited 108 times, which is known as Jap. The recitation is for 108 times for the reason that the demerits are of 108 times. So here, many persons may not know why we do Jap for 108 times. So the reason is very clear. There was a Jain scholar known as Joharmal. He wrote a part known as Alochana part, where he writes, Samarambha Samarambha Arambha Man Vachatan Kine Prarambha Kratikaritya Modani Karke Krodhadi Chatushtha Dharike Shat Athe Imije Bhedante Aghe Parchedante. That means whenever we think about doing some wrong deed or some hinsa, then things start from samram. Samram means जैसे ही हमारे दिमाग में विचार आता है किसी को मारने का, तो वो हुआ समरम. उसके बाद समारंभ, फिर उसके लिए हमने प्लान बनाया कैसे मारना है, कैसे हत्या करना है. उसके बाद आरंभ, फिर वो चीज शुरू होती है. तो ये 3 चीजें हैं, समरम, समारंभ, आरंभ. उसके बाद में मन वचन, मन माइंड, वचन स्पीच और तन बॉडी, ये 3 चीजें हुई. फिर कृत कारित मोदन, कृत माने खुद करना या कार्य किसी से कराना या मोदन अनुमोदना करना, उसको सेकंड करना उसको. So these are again 3 things. Then क्रोधादि चतुष्टय means क्रोध मान माया लोभ. These are 4 कषाय. So इन सबको मल्टीप्लाई करें अगर, तो इसका रिजल्ट आता है 108. 3 into 3 into 3 into 4, 108. So that is how in the Jap we have to recite name of God for 108 times. The benefits of Jap are as follows. Unwanted wandering of mind is stopped. Mind becomes very fresh. Demerits are shortened. Mind gets peace and stability. Mind gets ready for meditation. Then ultimate internal soul, Uttam Antratma. When the medium soul ascetic has practiced self-restraint on all senses and mind has adopted 11 stages of renunciation, he is known as the sage with ultimate internal soul. Such an ascetic has to follow all norms as prescribed in scriptures. He is now on the spiritual path of emancipation. मोक्ष मार्ग यहीं से शुरू होता है. The ascetic always tries to prevent the inflow of karmas. There are 6 ways to accomplish such prevention. Those 6 ways are Gupti, Samiti, Dharma, Anupreksha, and Parishajay and Charit. So Gupti, already we have discussed about this Gupti. Then second is Samiti. Samiti consists of maintaining vigilance while making movement, while speaking, while accepting the required articles, while moving any object, and while disposing the waste, etc. excreta. These are called Iriya Samiti, Bhasha Samiti, Ashana Samiti, Adan Nikshepan Samiti, and Utsarga Samiti. Then Dharma. Dharma means the attributes that constitute a spiritually purposeful religion. These attributes are forgiveness, mildness, straightforwardness, purity, truth, self-restraint, austerity, renunciation, then absence of possession, and celebration. Anupreksha, contemplation, contemplating about the evanescence, helplessness, worldliness, aloneness, otherness, nature of universe, rarity of right guidance, and tenets of Lord constitute Anupreksha. Then Parishajay. It consists of bearing hardships for the sake of staying on the right path and for eliminating the bondage of karma. Hunger, thirst, cold, heat, insect bite, unclad state, despise, seduction, moving about, steady posture, rough bed, reproach, injury, going for else, facing disadvantage, disease, thorny grass, dirtiness, honor or award, intelligence, nescience, and failure to come. Life is gaining of equanimity, samta bhav. As a monk, he undertakes a special type of penas and austerities. The charitras of 5 types. I'm not discussing about the 5 types of charit. Let us let us talk about Jain Dhyan. When a monk meditating on object has a deportment devoid of aspiration, it is said that he has reached the state of absolute meditation or dhyan. There are 5 types of dhyan: Artha dhyan, Rodra dhyan, Dharma dhyan, Shukla dhyan, and Preksha dhyan. Because Rodra dhyan and Artha dhyan, they are not fruitful in liberation, and therefore only 3 dhyan are fruitful in getting liberation. They are Dharma dhyan, Shukla dhyan, and Preksha dhyan. So Dharma dhyan, to worship Panch Parmeshti, Arihant, Siddha, Acharya, Upadhyaya, and all sages, to read Jain scriptures, to meditate over the basic Jain ideological principles, to concentrate the mind on the Ratnatraya and self-discipline is known as Dharma dhyan. Shukra dhyan, in the soul, having the right faith, right knowledge, and right conduct, there is a gradual decrease in the worldly attachments that produce the state of Shukla dhyan. Then Preksha dhyan, when breath is inhaled and exhaled, vibrations are generated throughout the body, which stimulate inner body organs, knowledge centers, consciousness centers, and internal power centers. When all these centers are visualized with the fullest concentration, it is known as Preksha Dhyan meditation. Then Dirgha Swas Preksha. In this meditation, the length of the breath is increased slowly. Concentration is made on the nostrils eyes are kept closed, and respiration is visualized. Full effort is made to concentrate only on breath entering and leaving nostrils. Under very deep concentration, various strength centers of the body are activated, and this is shown in the table. These 11 centers are there: anus, abdomen, navel, lungs, throat, nostrils, heart, eyebrows, forehead, then brain center and brain, this brain back of the brain. So these are the consciousness centers, strength center, health center, and everything is shown here. So they are activated when the Swast picture is followed. Then important events. At the beginning of the 12th stage of spiritual development, the ascetic is blessed with Manah Parya Gyan, mandatorily. Many of the, here I will tell you that we have Mati Gyan, Shrut Gyan, Avadhi Gyan, Manah Parya Gyan, and Keval Gyan. These are 5 types of Gyan. So Manah Parya Gyan is attained by the persons in the 12th stage of spiritual development. 12वें गुण स्थान में ये मनः पर्याय ज्ञान का उनको प्राप्ति होती है. Many of the ascetics awaken the conscious centers or strength centers with the help of pranayam done during Dirgh Shwas Priksha, due to which they are blessed with many miraculous powers known as riddhis. These are 64 in number. 64 रिद्धियां कुछ साधुओं को प्राप्त हो जाती हैं, और ये 64 रिद्धि हमने इस टेबल में दिखलाई है. पहला है इंटेलेक्चुअल रिद्धि, ये 11 प्रकार की होती है. बॉडी फॉर्मेशन रिद्धि, विक्रिया रिद्धि, इट इज आल्सो ऑफ 11 टाइप्स. देन एक्टिविटी रिद्धि और क्रिया रिद्धि, इट इज ऑफ 9 टाइप्स. देन ऑस्टेरिटी रिद्धि, तप रिद्धि, इट इज ऑफ 7 टाइप्स. देन स्ट्रेंथ रिद्धि, बल रिद्धि, 3 टाइप्स. Medicine riddhi, Oshad riddhi, it is of 8 types. Then Ras riddhi, Juice riddhi, 6 types. Then this Chiti, Kshetra riddhi, it is of 2 types. And the details are given in the right hand side. So these are the 64 types of riddhis which they obtain. In the above context, it is to be noted that Keval Gyan riddhi is obtained only by the omniscient, and other intellect riddhis are obtained by the ascetics possessing higher order of Gunasthan. Acharya Kund was possessing Kriya riddhi, due to which he could travel in the sky. He visited Videkshetra, a place in Jambudvip, and attended Samosharan of Lord Simandar Swami, which clarified many of his doubts. He composed scriptural texts like Samayasar, Niyamsar, Pravachan, etc. Mahamuni Vishnu Kumar saved the lives of 700 munis using Vikriya Riddhi. ये शायद किस्सा मालूम होगा, विष्णु कुमार जी ने जो साधुओं के ऊपर उपसर्ग आया था, उनको बचाने के लिए उन्होंने अपना ये विक्रिया रिद्धि का उपयोग किया हुआ था. The concluding and last phase of yoga practice. In the progressive stage of spiritual development, all Mohini karmas are destroyed in the 12th Gunasthan. At the end of this Gunasthan, all Ghatiya karmas of ascetics are destroyed, and he is blessed with Keval Gyan. He is known as Sakal Paramatma or Arihant. When the short age of such Arihant remains, he destroys all the Aghatiya karmas and gets seated in Siddhalaya as Nikal Paramatma. The Ayog Kevali seated at 14th Gunasthan is Nikal Paramatma. The Nikal Paramatma is without a body. The meaning of Sakal is along with body. There are 2 types of Paramatmas, namely Sakal Paramatma and Nikal Paramatma. Arihant has 46 qualities divided into 5 groups, which are known as Panchashtar. In the early 13th stage of spiritual development of Arihant, there are 4 pran: speech pran, body pran, life pran, and breathing pran. We know that there are 10 pran, 10 pran हमारे पास रहते हैं संगी मनुष्य के पास में, तो उसमें से 4 ही प्राण इनके पास बचते हैं 13 गुण स्थान में. At the end of 13th stage of spiritual development, only 2 pran remains: life span pran and body pran. The Arihant Paramatma starts possessing knowledge of all matters of past, present, and future, and all their properties. Since yoga is present with Arihant, Arihant is also known as Sayog Kevli. For destroying the remaining 4 Aghatya karmas, Arihant performs a process known as Samucchinna process, in which the 4th type of meditation is performed. As a consequence, the process of all movements in the soul stops, and for this reason it is called Samucchin process. Due to the stopping of subtle process, mind, speech, and body form of 3 types of yoga stops completely. In the last moment, all 85 karma pratidya are destroyed, and just after their destruction, Ayog Kevli God becomes Siddha Paramatma or Nikal Paramatma or Ayog Kevli, who remains in this world only for a very short time of 8 समय. समय जो है सेकंड से कई गुना छोटा होता है और उसकी कोई गणना अभी तक हो नहीं पाई है. समय जो आकाश में यदि एक कोई परमाणु है, उसके नजदीक में जो दूसरा परमाणु होगा, तो वो दोनों एक परमाणु दूसरे नियरेस्ट परमाणु तक पहुंचने में जितना समय लेता है, उसको एक समय कहा गया है. Then Samudghar. It is the process by which the length of Nam, Gotra, and Vedini karmas is made equal to the length of Ayush karma. There are 4 Aghatya karmas: Nam, Gotra, Vedini, or Ayu. So these are 4 Aghatya karmas. अब इसमें आयु का तो जो रोल है, आयु तो फिक्स रहती है. किसी भी व्यक्ति की, किसी भी मनुष्य की आयु वो पिछले जन्म से वो तय हो जाती है कि उसकी आयु कितनी रहेगी. अब जो नाम, गोत्र और वेदिनी जो कर्म है, वो अगर आयु कर्म से ज़्यादा है, उनकी लॉन्गेविटी, उनकी लेंथ ज़्यादा है, तो उनको बराबर करने के लिए जो प्रोसीजर अरहंत अपनाते हैं, उसको समुद्घात कहते हैं. As is obvious, the length of Ayush cannot be changed. If the length of the remaining 3 Aghatya karmas is more than the length of Ayush karma, then the soul reduces the length of those 3 in order to make it equal to that of Ayush. This equalization is made by the process of Samudghat. It is believed that the omniscient must enjoy all Aghatya karmas in full. The process of Samudghat lasts only for 8 samay. Within this short time, the premature fruition and consequent exhaustion of the karmas of longer duration have to complete. The 3 Aghatya karmas are forced to fructify and shed earlier than the scheduled time. Just before Antarmuhurt, the soul in the 13th Gunisthan performs Samudghat. Firstly, the soul stretches itself vertically both ways, the thickness of this vertical column being the same as that of the body. Next, the soul expands itself in the forward and backward direction. Afterward, the soul divides the lok in 4 parts. In the 4th instant, the soul expands in the remaining gap and fills the whole lok. In the next 4 instances, the soul retraces the steps in the reverse order and returns to its original condition in the 8th instant. Thus, finally, the length of all Aghatya karmas become equal. The soul then becomes ready to go to the 14th Gunisthan. The moment the separation of all karmas take place, the soul attains salvation. So this is all, and then I have given the references. There are these 23 references are quoted. So that is all. Thank you everybody. Thank you. Thank you.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद डॉक्टर एलसी जैन
यस
साहब।
सर, मैं
आपने
पूछना चाहता हूँ साहब कुछ।
सारे
जीसी
विषय
जैन।
बहुत संक्षेप में पूरे उसमें अपने व्याख्यान में दिए। विषय बहुत विस्तृत था, बहुत बहुत बधाई। लेकिन इसके
you,
अंदर
sir.
एक
Thank you.
करेक्शन कर दूं, आप जो समय की परिभाषा लास्ट में दे रहे थे उसमें यह है कि एक प्रदेश से नजदीक के दूसरे प्रदेश में धीमी गति से किसी परमाणु को जाने में जितना वक्त लगता है उसे एक समय कहते हैं। वो थोड़ा सा हो गया था, किसी को उसमें कंफ्यूजन नहीं रहना चाहिए। और इसी तरह से आपने समुद्रघात, लेकिन उस समुद्रघात को जो केवली करते हैं उसको केवली समुद्रघात कहते हैं। ये तो खाली एक मतलब किसी को कंफ्यूजन नहीं रहे, इसलिए मैंने क्लैरिफाई किया है, अदरवाइज
केवली समुद्रघात, केवली समुद्रघात।
दूसरी बात ये है कि जहां तक ये योग की बात है, आपने बिल्कुल सही फरमाया कि अपने यहाँ योग की जो अवधारणा है ये मन योग, वचन योग और काय योग इसको लेकर के होती है। वैसे तो योग शब्द को इस्तेमाल करते हैं, लेकिन आमतौर पर जो प्रचलित है पतंजलि का अष्टांग योग प्रचलित है, जिसमें यम नियम से शुरुआत होकर के और ध्यान और समाधि तक पहुंचते हैं। वही प्रक्रिया अपने यहाँ पर भी है। जैसे यम में 5 बताएं, ये अहिंसा, अस्तेय, ये हिंसा, झूठ, चोरी, कुशील, परिग्रह, इनसे छोड़ना, मतलब एक तरह से वो यम है, आजीवन छोड़ना। इसी तरह से अपने यहाँ पर वो शौच वगैरह की बात कही है, वो नियम में आ जाती है। और धर्म ध्यान का आपने बिल्कुल सही कहा कि 4 तरह के ध्यान की बात हमारे यहाँ जो कही है, आर्त ध्यान, रौद्र ध्यान, धर्म ध्यान और शुक्ल ध्यान। तो आर्त और रौद्र छोड़ने जैसे हैं, धर्म और शुक्ल अपनाने जैसे हैं। और इसी में आगे फिर वो कायोत्सर्ग की बात आती है, तो वो भी एक तरह से समाधि तक पहुंचने की प्रक्रिया है। बहुत बहुत बधाई। मैंने संक्षिप्त में इसलिए भी कहा कि किसी एक सज्जन है, उन्होंने कहा कि साहब आप हिंदी में दीजिए इसको, तो थोड़ा सा ब्रीफ करने के हिसाब से मैंने ये और कह दिया। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
थैंक यू। मेरे पास हिंदी में भी है लिखा हुआ, लेकिन मैंने कहा